Is it giving them cover, or is it just some airy little
It's
nothing?
got it's not giving cover to the Roadhog, and it's got 5 square radius. Is it a blast?
Yeah, I have to move closer.
The structure's not going to provide protection from that to any of them, I don't think. It's pretty open and it has a couple of pillars and stuff, but it's not really providing cover. The only one who's really any cover is the raccoon, the dabber, who is quite a bit further away.
So I'd like to try to move so that I maybe even are able to get him too, but none of my companions. And I would have to get close enough for the blast to strike. That would be 5 squares.
So you want to try and get as close enough to the dabber as well as to the others, but not your comrades. Okay, give me 1 second.
If that's possible.
It is possible. You will be quite out in the open. Which is the best one.
You can't get everything, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yes, I have found a location for you, which means that both the dabber and the Roadhog Sergeant and the other Roadhog are in your 5 square radius.
Oh no, here it comes.
If you want the, you can't get the Badger as well, unless you wanted your comrades to be in range.
So hopefully it's the next time.
Mm-hmm. I think 3 out of 5 is a pretty good.
I still have to hit them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an area attack, so I believe you make separate attack rolls against the 3 of them. But the damage will be the same if you hit them and roll damage.
Okay, so the first is a 16 against Fortitude.
Okay, let's say that's going to Sergeant first. Okay. What did you say?
16 against Fortitude. The second one is critical miss.
Okay.
Do I roll the third one or not?
Yes, you roll the third one or not. So, strictly speaking, there aren't critical misses as far as the rules are concerned. The only thing that happens on a 1 is that you have to do alpha. We'll do that in a minute. So you've missed that one, you've hit that, missed that one, and the last one's going to be the dabber.
15.
15.
Not bad.
1 second. That's enough to hit him as well. So you've hit the sergeant and the dabber. What is the effect?
Well, the effect is 11 points of damage.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I'd assume it's physical if it doesn't say anything.
Yep.
And I push them all 3 squares away from us. And if I don't know, but I think even if I push them close to one of my friends, they wouldn't get an opportunity to attack. I'm not.
No, forced movement doesn't create opportunity attack.
Yeah.
Although it's worth asking, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I sure wish it did, though. The idea of push them onto my sword.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It's very,
into your arms.
It has,
but it doesn't work this way.
How much damage did you say?
11.
11. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. And how many squares do they get pushed?
3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Right. Okay.
And if I
what
would be
happens
as good as Geiger in coming up with some really bad words, I would blast them with that.
No,
but unfortunately, I'm a nice person.
So, what happens there is that
that's right.
As a result of this, the sergeant is flung backwards, probably over the head of Okma, crashes into a pillar as part of the structure, and collapses down at Okma's feet, unconscious.
Oh, good. Okay. Biggest problem solved.
Meanwhile, the dabber is blown 3 squares away and lands on the tracks behind him. Is he just pushed? He's not knocked prone, is he? So, He is keeps his feet, but is pushed further away from you. Okay, and the metal structure shakes and bits fall off it, and it starts bits of its roof start falling in, which doesn't have any effect on anything, but it's just like that's what happens when you draws a huge telekinetic wave in the vicinity of it.
Is this the same metal structure that they were dressing up for the ceremony?
Yes.
Okay. Oops.
Well, it hasn't completely collapsed yet.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry about your
but
ceremony. Okay.
To have
Right.
ideas.
On the subject of people. Okay, anything else you would like to do? You've done a move and a attack action. You've probably got a minor action left if you have anything you wanted to do.
Would it be a minor? I mean, just to mess with them. I
Messing
have
people is always
something
good.
that's telekinetic reach, which can manipulate unattended objects up to 5 squares away.
You can.
If
You
there
could
is
take
any
something from the
tools-
Roadhog. He's not attending any objects.
I'm just thinking of messing around with them, like taking something and throwing it somewhere where it makes a lot of noise. Preferable into the structure.
Yeah, you
So
can.
if
You
there are
can
any tools lying around that are close enough to me, because it doesn't really, it's up to you to say if that would be a minor action.
so, you can do a minor action, which is move something around telekinetically and annoy them. In terms of it having an effect, like making a skill roll that does something, that would have to be a standard action. But you can do it, and it's like, I like the color of it, and I'm sure that annoying them has its own fictional effect. So, yes, well, apart from
Absolutely
else, there's
intended to do that.
apart from else, you can mess with all their decorations that they do.
Oh.
Cool.
Yes, please. I'm going.
A whole string of shiny nice discs that they'd obviously spent ages hanging from the metal structure, all collapsed down to the ground
Goodness.
at the telekinetic probing the Laker, and you get the dirtiest look
Oh,
from
sorry.
the pig. He's clearly a man who takes great pride in his work, and he's fine.
All right. I think I'm the next up. Is that correct?
You would be the next up if the pig didn't go next. So,
Okay.
and what he does is he runs over to his motorbike and starts it up. Yes, he does that. So that's a move action. He goes there. He then makes his standard charging attack on his motorbike. He kicks it into gear. He kicks it into gear and... Ooh, okay. I feel a bit mean saying he can already be holding his machete. But I feel like starting a motorbike is also a minor action. Okay, let's say he does that.
Right. He revs up, and then he strikes a menacing pose just before
He does that.
The motorcycle has to make a cool noise before he charges. I mean, I get.
Yes, absolutely. That's
I
the
get
point of a minor action where he turns it on. So I'm going to reduce his damage if he does manage to hit by a bit because he's not using the machete yet. You can see he's got a big nasty machete.
Oh yeah. No, it's.
But he is.
That's kind of my
kicks his
favorite
motorbike.
image so far. As a matter of fact, our pig starting up the motorcycle and brandishing his machete. I'm very pleased with that image. I've got a lot of Ralph Bakshi going on in my head right now.
And he arcs round past Laker and slashes hits out at her as he drives past.
Oh, I thought he was all out of actions. I
Well,
withdraw
he had a
my
move
complimentary comment.
He has a move action and a minor action I made him take to start the motorbike. We still gives him his standard action, which is a move and attack.
Oh wow, okay, no problem.
So I'm afraid he's going to try and hit you, Laker, which is a. Ooh, it's a 20 versus AC.
Ooh,
He tries, but he doesn't.
Wow.
And I can assure you, I have the right weapon to tackle him and his motorbike.
I see.
Cool.
Okay.
So he has.
You have
a
an AC
traffic
over.
sign?
You have an AC of 21 or higher. Wow.
I have an AC of 21 because I'm a smart girl.
Right. Ah. Okay.
Wow.
I saw that the other day, and I was like, I have to check that. It was completely right. Right. So he arcs past you on his
That's the
motorbike,
game, not me.
hits out at you, and misses. But he does not provoke opportunity attacks while driving past you.
Right.
So he then drives past and loops round, so he is sort of to your south and to the south.
This is like GMing those Bloodhawks in the in 4E when I was playing, and the monster I was using was a Bloodhawk, and they swoop past you, and I kept having to figure out where they ended up each time, and I was getting dizzy from all the Bloodhawks circling and swooping everywhere. Right.
Right. And that's the end of his turn.
A radioactive version of the Blood Ravens in Gamma World.
Now,
Right. So now, Hokma, it's now your turn. You have a unconscious Hawker sergeant at your feet.
He's settled. I'm actually going to say I'm going to switch over to a different action. And I don't know how well this is going to work in the middle of a fight, or whether it's a complete wasted action, or whether you want to treat it as a skill challenge or not. But I have a skill challenge. There's something I want to know. I want to know, whom do I speak with to lodge my complaint, who is authorized to deal with it. I want the next up the chain of command of person who is here or nearby.
Okay. If you want to do that in the middle of the fight, that's fine. I don't mind.
Well,
but,
that's my idea. I don't know if you're going to assign me like a skill challenge for it or something that I have to work through.
So how are you trying to find this out?
I will find this out.
Question.
Right. I will find this out by, you're down there with this guy, revving his motorcycle, and there's the batter is standing out in the middle of everything, right?
The batter is a bit to your north, so he's kind of still in the area of the metal structure.
Right. No problem. I will point.
He's kind of out on the corner of everybody else. But you can say he's quite close to you.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I paid attention. So I am going to point at him and say, do you really want us to undo all of your work today just for the sake of that smelly boss? All we want to know is who is his boss. And then we've got no other problems.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. That sounds like a sensible thing. That will be. It's not going to be a skill challenge. That can be a skill roll, though. It sounds like interaction.
Okay. I just wish I was better at interacting, because I'm not. I'm only a little good at it. Very, very little good at it. I want a mutation that makes me more interactive, whatever that may be. Okay, so. But I do roll a 13, so I have a 14, which is not dreadful. Who knows? Maybe I'll get somewhere. And I just dropped my character sheet stuff all over the floor.
I know the feeling. I only managed to lose like 3 of my little cards I've got.
Right.
Hit points on me last second. I'm just checking whether there is a rule for making skill checks. Contested. Don't think there is. It's fine. I didn't want to anyway. Right. Can't find anything, so that's fine. What did you say? You got a 14?
Yes.
Yes, that's definitely enough to convince him to at least answer you.
Good. Then if we have to, we'll kick their butts, hopefully, and not die.